Um, Good evening. This is John Bush again. I wanted to talk a little bit about the People's March yesterday and rally, and it used to be the Women's March. Back in 2016, it was the Women's March when Trump won, or 2017 when Trump was inaugurated the first time. And over time, it's been absorbed by the People's March. And I only went to yesterday, I went to a brunch earlier and kind of only went to the tail end of it, which was along from the George Washington University campus down past the State Department to um, the Lincoln Memorial. Um, so I can just show a few pictures. That's some people walking up. That's near the State Department, and that's similar, different camera. That's actually the Federal Reserve building back there, and that's for pharmacy agency, I think. But I think that's the Federal Reserve back there. Um, and here's a Presbyterian church. Let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. That sign. Just some symbols, and then we'll show some video. If you're not angry, you're not paying attention. A good friend of mine made a rant about what he was angry about recently, and then took it down um, after a couple days, and then sort of said what he was grateful for, and his more recent videos have been much more upbeat. And then another person I wouldn't say is a good friend yet, but I kind of know distantly, who's in Texas, tried to make a 10-hour film about himself in which he becomes sort of a supernatural character or something of some kind in the third person, but essentially to pass judgment on what's wrong with the world right now. I know, again, very similar intention. Young men right now, not only just when they get into their 20s and even when they're fully mature, over 25 and have to have a career and have to be fully mature, a lot of young men are having a crisis of purpose. Kind of even the smartest ones, the most gifted ones, are the way the world is right now. People are just losing their bearings. But it's particularly hard for young men to adjust to what's happened in the last couple of decades. But that's another discussion. Um, and you all know kind of what it's getting harder to get married. It's getting harder to raise a family compared to people who don't raise families and that kind of thing. I've talked about that a lot, but that's kind of some of that. But yeah, this poster sums it up. If you're not angry, you're not paying attention. And then that's just a cute picture of the hotel Hive, which is I think on Virginia Avenue, right over one of the subways, and it has a picture of a motel room on it that looks. I think the name Hive suggests that it's a hotel room on another planet, maybe Proxima B or something, although that's not my idea from the remote viewing I talked about before, but I just think that's interesting. Um, Dude, it's not about you. That's another interesting sign that the things that are wrong in the world that you're asked to pay attention and march and protest for and become support activism for and make sacrifices for, volunteer more for, really not about your own personal feelings. It's more about you as a member of society than it is about you yourself. And I would disagree with that to some extent, but that's just what the sign means. And then here's some other signs. Let me see if I can. That's not working. Yeah, there it is. Giving the finger. We deserve a refund on this reality show, or Trump and The Apprentice. Which was a good reality show. I don't really have a problem with it too much. I am so tired of old white men. Well, yeah, I'm an old white man, and life is finite. And when you retire, you know that an end is even and have an income given to you or inherit them. You know an end is coming, and it may not be pleasant. There will come a day when there are no more meals, no more of a lot of things, and no more opportunities, no more events, and your life will flow in front of you. Real men serve their country, not themselves. Okay. Should we have mandatory national service if we had mandatory national service for people, then a lot of young people wouldn't have been able to start their businesses like as teenagers like they did. They'd have to have done their service first. It would really cut down on talent, but that's an interesting challenge anyway. Um, we need more trees, not more orange. Orange refers to Trump, of course, but could refer to Agent Orange during the Vietnam War, I guess, too. Convicted felon, not my POTUS, President of the United States. Yeah, I'm concerned too um, that the January 6th stuff will get pardoned, and that, the I don't know, the prosecution in New York State over the hush money thing seems a little contrived, but some of the other stuff, the Georgia stuff, asking to get more votes, that one thing, that sounds real serious, and this is not good that somebody got away with all that. That's just how I feel. That's something that's really concerning. But let me show you a couple of videos. Well, that's a picture of Glendale, California, with a rainbow in February 2023. I still like that. From the People's March, which used to be the Women's March, or which is augmented on top of the Women's March. Okay, then let me just show you one more video, which was taken with Sony, and I lost my place. It's 217. I have to write these numbers down because they're, well, find the, oh, that's a different series. Here it is. From the People's March, returning to do the State Department. Pops from the State Department. It's okay to film the board. And there's Lincoln Yard. Yeah, that's Microsoft Bing and getting in the way sometimes. I try to change something, Bing throws all of its advertising stuff in front of me, which I didn't want it to do. But one other thing I did notice when I was down looking toward the Lincoln Memorial, you could see the Memorial Bridge. The Memorial Bridge was still closed by police because of an accident. I think it was Friday night, maybe Thursday night, was recently, where a truck rear-ended somebody else, and the truck itself went across two lanes and went into the icy Potomac River. I don't know if anybody survived that or not. I haven't kept up with it. It was a terrible accident to driving that way. But anyway, that's what I have today, and we'll get to back to some of the my movie ideas and the books and some of my political stuff again about free speech and so forth pretty soon in the next video. And I do thank you for listening.